We're live. We're live. We're live.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you folks doing?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Like. Thank you for joining on this Thursday morning.
You know,
It's cool Thursday morning.
which I love. It felt great last night. I'm sure it felt great this morning after this walk.
I
You can
was.
think yourself happy.
Absolutely.
You can think yourself sad.
You can think yourself mad.
You can think yourself into injury or sickness.
Absolutely. You can think yourself sleepy.
You can think yourself. You can control so much by just thinking.
By your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
The power of the mind. We're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it today.
And hopefully we have some fun with this.
Absolutely. We look forward to hearing your perspective, vantage point, and point of view, as well as some tips that you may have to maintain or arm your power of your mind.
You want to pass it, all
I think I did. There we go. We're back. And we're back in a moment.
right. Slow internet.
Everything is slow.
You might not be able to run a commercial.
Yeah, we might not be able to run the show. Good morning, Lena Janelle. She said first up.
Well,
First and what? First, call him first.
she made the first exception. How cool is that?
First.
You know,
We can't seem to run anything. Hopefully, you're still picking up the show. We can't run the commercial, but that's okay.
looking back on my elementary school years, particularly, and this carried out, I think I was probably obnoxious to my classmates in one area.
Oh,
Okay.
do tell.
Just thinking about it now, maybe back then it didn't bother them, but just me and Janelle said first, and it kind of sparked me. Like when we took tests in class, I always would try to be the fastest one.
The one that said, you can see us, and hopefully, we will be able to be heard. I am refreshing my screen. Hopefully, I'm back on as well.
Still there, Lena's first.
Yeah, Lena's still first, and her comments are there unless she
Okay.
left, and then Miss Phyllis came in the room. And Miss Phyllis said, "There you are." And then she says, "Yes, I can hear you." Oops, lost the connection. Hopefully you didn't lose the room and then you came back. Miss Phyllis is in. She says, "Good morning," and there you are. So hopefully you were able to jump back on uh, or stay in the room, Miss. There you go, Lena Janelle. Thank you. She says, "You're back." Well, that means you can see us again. I don't know what's happening. It looks like it's a problem with the streaming software communicating with Facebook. Great day, Judah. Judy joined me last night in the theater. I had a couple of people in the theater stay all the way to the end. It was really good. I enjoyed the movie. That is the second and a half time that I've watched that movie.
We're not getting. I'm not gonna home just. Hey, if I lean in here, it's better. But if I want to adjust my seat at all, no, the other way. No. Even where it was, just bring this forward a little bit.
Move that for a second.
Cool. All right.
All right.
We got a little bit late start this morning. Both of us did. But we made it here. We're here. So happy. I was saying when I might have been an obnoxious kid in elementary school because every assignment the teacher gave, like where we had to look up vocabulary words or take a test or anything, I would try to do as fast as I could. And me and this white boy named Richard, we'd always be racing and then we would yell, "Finish!" as fast as we Looking back on that now, I probably was obnoxious. And even when I went into military leadership training,
Mhm.
I took every test as fast as I could take it because I knew I was going to either get close to I probably wasn't going to get 100, but I knew I was going to get close to 100 no matter
Mhm.
what. I was going to be in the 90s somewhere. It relies.
Here we go. Hopefully, you guys are still in the building and still able to hang out with us. Judy said the video feed is down. Yes, it was down. It seems like it was down for a moment, but we are back up.
Who's
Hopefully,
that thing over there?
we will be able to get back into the swing of things.
There's technical difficulties.
Technical
I don't
difficulties.
understand the difficulty, people. Love you, brother. Treat him as equal. Heavy D.
Yes, it had to be. And the computer is feeling itself. It's feeling itself.
Okay. All right, we're gonna try this again. Um, not today's topic is the power of your mind.
Lena says, "Hey, third time's a charm."
Third
Yes,
time's a
it is.
charm. We're gonna try again, Lena. If it happens, because we're here. We might as well try it again. I do got work to do, and I'm thinking about the work I got to do already, and I haven't had any breakfast yet. So let's see how this
The power of the mind.
goes. Let's see how this goes. I haven't fed me myself anything. Happier today, William Brown. Lena, I'm
Hey,
happy here.
William Brown.
Julie Flood, I'm so happy you're here. Who else is in the room that we know? Miss
Miss
Phyllis is
Phyllis
here.
is here.
Thank you, Miss Phyllis, for being here with us.
Absolutely.
We were talking about the power of your mind, how you can think yourself into a feeling. You can think yourself into feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can think yourself into more productive. You can think yourself into less productive.
Absolutely.
Just the thinking. It don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be anything that makes it happen.
Nope. Just the thinking can change your physiology.
You ever work in a place where when you greet someone, how you doing today? And they say, I don't know, I just got here. Let's see how it goes. You ever heard that before?
I have.
Of course you have. Those are the people that are reactive. They're reactive. They wait to see if Carol says something out the way again to determine if they're going to have a good day or
Okay.
not. Or whoever.
My world does not revolve around Carol.
Well, you have a higher level of understanding of who you are and how your mind works and how your body works. That's the other thing, too. The power of your mind is what we're talking about. I'm going to try to keep it on topic, but your physiology has a lot to do with it, too.
It does.
Just the way you sit or stand.
It does. I find myself adjusting my physiology during the day when I get to the bottom of the steps. I often meet the steps in my heart, already deciding these damn 14 steps.
15, right?
And then I reset my thoughts. And usually, if I reset my thoughts and remind myself that I can make these 15 steps, that I've done it before, and that I have the ability, I have the breath, I have the strength
So
that I can do it, and I make it up to 15 or 14 steps.
what do you think about moving to a one level home? All the bedrooms, everything on one level, no steps at all. Maybe two steps getting in the house, something like that.
It's fine with me either way.
Would that be good?
Yeah, it would be good if it's big.
The house gotta be big though.
It's got to be big because for everything to be on one floor, it's going to be big both ways,
Yeah,
as opposed to being stacked on top of each other.
that's right. The square footage might be the same, but it feels like it's bigger if it's on
Right,
one level.
because it's all on one level.
Yep. Well, only in apartments I have one level. Actually, I had a townhouse that was one level. So yeah, one level townhouse before. We had a two level townhouse.
Yes, we did every time.
Mm-hmm. You were living in a one level home when I met you.
All the time, both my homes were one level.
Even the 5 bedroom homes were one level too.
Mm.
Cool.
Oh, it was really wise, really, really wise. Linda Janelle said, "I understand, but I don't like it when people, I don't, but I don't, I understand, but I don't like it when folks say it. I never
Say it.
say it. Claim a good day out loud, even if you have a foreboding feeling." I agree.
Yeah, man. And then there's other people who can leave the house with a good attitude on purpose, but let somebody cut them off in traffic.
And it's
It's gone. Or not be able to find a parking space. That's ruined them. Okay. Um, there's the not the park space, and that's one of the reasons why I got sour. There was a time in my adult life, baby, where I was going through all the seminars. Any seminar that came to town or workshop, I would just go to it. I was going to seminars and workshops so much, and I lived in Raleigh at the time, and there was this hotel not far from us called the North Raleigh Hilton,
mhm.
and it seemed to have a lot of entrepreneurial things and conventions there. And sometimes I would just put on a suit and just go to the Hilton and just to see what's going on and step in there.
Mhm,
I've went in there and seen some amazing dumb presentations. Just pop in. I mean, I was that guy.
mhm.
I'm going to these seminars, and I noticed. Well, I think it was one of the speakers says, "Now, right now, everybody in this room seems motivated, and some of you will lose all of this motivation before you make it to your car. You leave this concert hall, leave this room right here, and you get a phone call or check a message, and somebody says something, and the motivation that you're feeling right now could be gone. So you got to gird yourself." He's trying to prepare them, but he was right. He said it was like somebody pop your balloon.
Well, the Word of God tells us to gird up your loins. The Word of God tells us to protect the gates of your eyes and your ears. And I dare say that is a message worth heeding.
With heating, yes. So how do you do that?
How do you do that? So I think you do that when I think of girding your eyes and your ears. You do that first and foremost with what you take in. I take in things with intentionality. I also take in,
You taking something with intentionality.
yes, there are some things you can't avoid.
Right. Because if you leave the house, you're going to see some stuff.
Yeah, well, I can still manage that most of the time. Like, I don't drive like you do.
That's what I was thinking actually. See, my wife can like kind of read my mind. I was thinking about traffic and driving to because we're gonna be traveling this weekend. So driving on the highway, I saw a funny meme because what she said she don't drive like me is I pay attention to everything on the road and people in the far left hand lane that's driving slow drives me nuts and I'm gonna cuss them out in the car.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you get frustrated about them. I often think of
I don't think
delays.
it's frustrating.
What is it? It's just activity.
It's being aware. It's paying attention.
No, you don't just be paying attention. You look at this. Would you look at this? Like, bro.
What are you doing over here? What are you doing over here? Oh,
And if you want to watch it that way,
this
feel
ice
free.
hole right here. So I saw a funny meme this morning, like had hell and it had rooms of hell, and they're like people that do this in this kind of area of hell. But they had one room of hell, people who drive slow in the far left hand lane, and they were ushering those people into hell, that part of hell. That's where they need to go. A section for people who drive slow.
I always anticipate that they can see something that I can't see. Now, it can get a little bit frustrating when I get pass them and find out that they were just strolling along in the fast lane.
Being
That can be
asses.
frustrating, but William Brown said, I'm a witness.
You're a witness to what, William?
To your fun-filled, action-packed driving
William,
experience.
when have you ever seen me do that, William? When have you ever witnessed that? You probably got your information circumstantially or from what Lisa and I have said. Because I can't think of a time when we was in the car and I performed that way around William.
Okay, well, I personally choose to believe that everything and everyone in the universe is working for my good.
And what she's demonstrating is a concept called anastrophic.
Absolutely.
Anastrophic.
So I'm not one of those people. Yes, he wants them all the way in hell because they won't be on the right.
Why are you over there? Get over.
Get in your own lane and go as slowly as you want. I oftentimes find myself staying in the slow lane if I'm driving because I don't want to be in hell with the people that Brian is sending there.
Lena Janelle says, "Damn, Brian, you was in Hades."
But even when
they're not being slowpokes, they're being obtrusive. Their job is to try to mess up the flow of traffic. They don't want you making progress, and they know they don't want to drive fast, but they're going to be obnoxious. That's what they're doing. They're being obnoxious. One time I took a trip um, to somewhere, a trip that we could drive to in 3 or 4 hours. And we decided to head home early because I had little children at the time. So we decided to head home early so that the sitter can leave at a decent time. So we were heading back home at like 4 or 5 in the morning, okay? We're heading home at 4 or 5 in the morning.
William Brown says, maybe I am misremembering that other Brian I was with. Maybe.
Maybe so. But anyway, we were on the road at 4 or 5 in the morning, and it's just now coming light. There's hardly any cars on the road at all. I'm in the far left-hand lane, okay, and I'm driving. Okay, it's actually still a little bit, well, dark, but changing over. I'm in the far left-hand lane. There's no cars around me. Okay, I'm coming from South Carolina, and I'm driving, and this car runs up on me real fast, and it just comes up on me. And there's 2 lanes he can go around, but he races up on me, okay? And I didn't like it, so I stayed right where I was. And then he backed off, but he stayed behind me. And I'm still driving. I drive fast anyway, so I'm driving as fast as I'm going to drive. So then he races up on me again, and then he drops back. He did it the third time, and then this time he blue lighted me, okay? Oh, so he pulled me over. Now I'm pissed off, okay? He did all of that.
So it was a cop car.
It was a cop car.
Did you know it the first time?
I didn't know it the first 3 times, okay, until he put on the blue lights. It was dark. So he blue lighted me, he pulled me over. Now I'm pissed off at this point, okay, because he could have easily went around several times. There was nothing blocking him, okay? So he pulled me over, and this time he didn't wait and run my place. He just wanted to come right away, which I prefer, okay? He goes, "Did you not see me come up on you?" It looked like Boss Hall kind of guy. "Did you not see me come up on you?" And Deirdre was over there. She goes, "Calm down." I said, "Yeah, I saw you coming up on me. So what did you think I was doing?" Now he's fussing at me. I'm a grown ass man. He goes, "What did you think I was doing? Coming up on you?" You know, I said this. "I thought you was being obnoxious. I thought you was being an ass. You could have went around." Okay? I said the words obnoxious and being an ass, and you could have went around. And he goes, "Well, it's the law. If somebody pulls up on you, you have to move over. It's the law. In South Carolina, I took my license. In South Carolina, if that happens, you have to get over."
So he armed you.
Yeah. He told me it was the law in South Carolina.
So now you are the hall monitor for that fast lane.
Apparently it doesn't work. Yeah, me being the hall monitor. But he didn't give me a ticket, though, so I was happy about that.
But you're a hall monitor now. Because now he's equipped you with law that you can lord over everybody that you come in contact with, even if you don't have a badge.
He didn't say it was law universally everywhere. He said in South Carolina.
Well, every time we go through South Carolina and everywhere else we go through, you have the tendency to remind people to get out of that lane.
Yes.
I don't rush people.
Especially if you see a train of cars. If you got 5 cars and no one can get over and you're holding up everybody, you are being an ass. Get out the way.
Is this where you're going to use your mind? this morning.
You took me here. The power of the. I'm getting there physically. I'm getting my body is reacting, it's shooting me through with cortisol and and energy boosters to let me know how to prepare for battle.
Miss Phillips says, "Is it really the law in South Carolina?" It is.
That's what he told me in South Carolina. So
You know what's also interesting? I don't think that I knew coming from New York that you had to pull over to the right side of the road when the fire trucks come past.
you're kidding me.
No, I
How
didn't
did
know
you
that.
get a license?
Well, I was old when I got a license, but I don't
That's true.
remember that in any of the books. I don't remember reading it, even after I started doing it because everybody down here did it.
Yesterday, I was driving and a fire truck and a police car. The fire truck was in front of the police car on a two-lane road, Prosperity Church Road,
Hmm.
and I saw them coming. I moved over immediately, but there was a car in front of me that didn't get out the way.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell
So
you what
they're
I
like
remember.
the blaring horns behind them.
Well, so in New York, the last time I drove in New York, the last
You don't need
time
to do that no more.
I drove, no, the last time I drove in New York as a young person, I remember following, following ambulances and fire trucks.
Mhm.
Like that's how we would get out of traffic.
Yeah,
Sometimes we would actually like tail them. That's how you get out of the traffic. You get in that cut right behind them, and you cheat, 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 and you go. But here, as they come, you move and you stay to the side, even after they're gone, to see if other ones are coming. Because typically here, the fire truck, the ambulance, and
police
at least the
department.
police car
Yeah,
go together, three of them, right?
but sometimes that, but it's not always. But a police car typically would. Okay,
Mhm.
so that's just one thing. But the show topic is not that.
You know,
Yeah, people do that also after you move over. Some people, I mean, I would imagine if I was a fire truck, most of their calls are EMS. Probably 90% of what they do is EMS work. And someone refusing to get over, I would just be so salty about that. I'm trying to go rescue somebody, and you're not moving out of the way.
yeah, I didn't know that was a law. I mean, I knew you moved if you were impeding them, but I didn't know you moved like if you were just driving. If they could get past you, then you let them go past. But here, like
You got to get
everybody
out of the
knows,
way. You got to
right?
pull over.
I do that. I know that now.
I pull over too because I'm thinking about them making it in time to save somebody. That's what I'm thinking.
So the power of the mind had nothing to do with these trucks, these trains, these automobiles, none of these things. But understand, the power of the mind was at work this morning when I thought of this topic. During my walk. A lot of things go on during my walk. Many of you have been reading the Bunny Chronicles, so you know that I use my imagination. I have been turning off my imagination and turning on my study mind in most of my walks recently, and in the past 3 or 4 days because I am preaching on this Sunday. So I'm less mindful of the bunnies and stuff like that, and more mindful of the scriptures that I'm rehearsing in my mind and everything else that I'm focusing on. This is too tight. I feel like I can't breathe.
I know how to make my wife laugh, y'all.
But anyway, this so today as I'm walking again, it was very brisk and beautiful. I have been rehearsing the 23rd Psalm every day as the level set of my morning after my affirmations. Just level setting, sort of like a lemon ice, a cleansing of the palate. I realized today that while I was rehearsing the 23rd Psalm, that other thoughts kept on creeping in. So I said, you know what, let's say them out loud because you can't speak and think something else. Well, yes, you can. I'm speaking the 23rd Psalm and I'm thinking about something totally different. Different things were coming into my mind, and they were in opposition to the 23rd Psalm. So I thought, well, then there must be too much space in my brain
Okay,
if there
this is
is
interesting.
opposition going on to something that I am intentionally going out of my way to only allow in my mind.
You
So I
intended to
must
focus
have,
on 23rd
I
Psalm,
intended to
but
focus on
invading
that.
thoughts
There
kept
was
coming in.
invading thoughts kept
Okay,
coming in. So then I said, well, if that means if I'm getting invading thoughts and I'm still remembering my scripture and I'm still reciting it, but I have invading thoughts and I'm thinking about having invading thoughts, then that must mean that I have more room to do other things in my mind.
That's what you went through.
So that I began to then capture my mind in the other areas. So I'm still reciting, I'm still rehearsing, and I am now capturing what I am going to talk about on Sunday, which means that I am focusing now on the 23rd Psalm and Romans 10. I'm thinking on both of those things, and still thoughts are coming in and coming in. And I'm like, wait a minute, I got two things already that I'm working on right now in my head. How do I have room to even have this conversation with myself about having other thoughts while I'm still thinking about Romans 10, while I'm still thinking about Psalms 23? And then I begin to think about the seven habits of highly effective people. Began to juxtapose on all these things. Now they're happening simultaneously. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is interesting. Mind you, I'm having this evaluation of all of the things that are going on in my mind while still reciting and still thinking and still walking and still find myself from time to time looking to see if there's anything happening. I'm watching for cars, I'm watching for traffic. There was somebody out there walking their dog. All of those things I'm taking note of. And then I'm still thinking that I have other things that are coming in that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the deliverance while I'm thinking of the 23rd Psalms and Romans 10 and seven habits of highly effective people. And the fact that I've got all of these other thoughts in my mind and the fact that I haven't seen a bunny. Now I realize that now that there's quite a few things going on in my mind.
You're aware.
I'm aware of all of these things that are going on in my mind, and I realize that all of those things are demonstrating one thing.
Oh.
That your mind is capable of doing more than you think it can.
Say it. I was going there too. Your mind has a much greater capacity
than you even begin to think. Yeah. Now, mind you, I didn't write any of these things down to talk about today on the show, but I remembered that I was rehearsing the 23rd Psalm and reciting the 23rd Psalm. I was reviewing Romans 10 and even Romans 1 and Romans 2. And Romans 8. And I was thinking about the fact that I was still thinking about other things. And I'm searching for bunnies. And I'm walking. And it's cold. And I'm wondering, what am I going to do when I get home? And all of those things are going on. Yet, the mind still had room
for more.
For more.
If something else that came up, you just thought about that
Something else did come up.
Okay.
So the next thing that came up was a piece of a song. Have you ever heard a piece of a song? You can't remember the melody, but you keep trying to catch up to the melody so that you can get the rest of the song.
Okay.
Like if I can just get the hook in my mind, then I can remember the song. So while this is going out, this is going out, this is going out, this is going in, now I've got a hook or a song piece that it's everywhere because I don't know the song. But I know I need the song.
Okay.
And I am still reminded that my mind obviously still has room for more. So I get home and I'm dealing with all of those thoughts in my mind. I sit down. After my walk, I always do a brain dump. So I begin to capture my thoughts and then I lost them on my phone to send out to Facebook to capture my thoughts. And I began to capture them and then I caught the song. When I caught the song, I only caught a little tidbit, enough to like, you know how you get your fingernail up under something, you try to dig it out, dig it out, dig it out. That's exactly what it felt. So in the middle of writing my post, I begin to research the song to capture it under the praise and worship songs that we can use for church.
Right.
So I go over to my other notes and I write it down there and I come back to my Facebook to write on the post and I can't find it. And then I go back to the other doc and I said, well, let me find this whole song. And I search the song out, I find it, and I go find the lyrics and I download another app and I do all these other things. And then I go back to find Facebook and it's gone. So I get frustrated. I had already written about 3 paragraphs or 3 lines, 3 big stanzas or something. And in that, I had done all of these things. Mind you, there's only a finite period of time that I do all of these things before it's time to start the show. So I get to start over on the Facebook post. Now I found the song. I've captured the walk. I'm still reminded that I have 23rd Psalms, 1st and 2nd and 10 Romans. I have the enemy trying to get in there with other thoughts.
What's
I
a
am
bull?
reminding myself that I saw this movie, The Deliverance, and there are some people that felt about the deliverance the same way they felt about Discovering Your Why. Now, all of these thoughts are in my head. Discovering Your Why is the book that I wrote.
Her first book.
My first book, in which I didn't um, hide from the language that God took me through to get to where He brought me to. And some of the comments that I heard about deliverance, they didn't have to use that language. First of all, it's a depiction of true events. When it happened to her, that language happened. If
Okay.
the only time
Well, I'm
you
coming
can see
back.
your
Okay.
Jesus is when He's already Jesus,
I'm with you,
then you're
babe,
going
but
to
you're
miss the
going
point.
too
That's
many
okay.
tangents
I'm
right now.
telling you, there was all of these tangents.
Okay, go ahead.
But all of these tangents went on while I was still going through the process of recapturing my thoughts.
Okay.
Mind you, the biggest thing that I realized out of all this is that even now, my mind still has room for more. And so does yours. The power of your mind is so vast, and you do so little with what you have. So often we do so little with what we have that we miss the opportunity that God takes us on when He takes us on these journeys in
All
our
right.
own mind.
So I heard so much in Lisa's story. I want her to tell it all too, because I want you guys to get your understandings too, um, of it. But what she's talking about going on in her mind, is a very common thing, and it happens to all of us, and I suspect it happens to all of us every day. Our minds get clouded with stuff. Okay. Oh, that I was going there next, brother Mark. Okay.
Amen.
Um, if you didn't hear, there was another school shooting, a mass school shooting yesterday in Atlanta at Appalachian High School. Four people were killed, two teachers, two students, and nine more people were injured. And the shooter was a 14-year-old kid, and he had an AR-15 style assault rifle. He brought his assault rifle to school and just started shooting. Another school shooting. This 14-year-old kid had an assault weapon capable of firing 100 rounds within seconds. Brother Mark Greer submits, let us pray for those children and families of Appalachian High School who suffered loss and witnessed the senseless shooting yesterday. Young minds of the children and minds of their parents will need support, guidance, prayers, and love to begin living with the memory of what transpired. No matter what burden you carry, someone, somewhere is dealing with something far worse. Let the power of the minds and the prayers of the united and the like minded people lift up those families in the name of God.
In the name of the Almighty.
Um,
Please know that as I sit before you, I am mindful of the importance of gun rights. I am not one that thinks that everybody's rights should be taken away. There are situations and circumstances that I do not believe that a gun should be present, particularly in a home that has children. Um, because for personally, for the main reason that if you lock it up to keep it away from the child, then when you need it, how are you going to get to it? But I digress. There is not a need for an AR. What is it? AR
15.
15.
Any kind of assault rifle, that's just one
There's
kind.
no need for an assault rifle in your home. You're not in battle.
Citizens do not need assault rifles.
Citizens do not need assault rifles.
Um, there's things called common sense gun laws. Um, President Barack Obama tried so hard to get common sense gun laws, and he was not successful. George Biden got some common sense gun laws, and President Kamala Harris is trying to get more. But it's not common sense.
I don't understand why there is this trepidation with the infringement upon your right
Well,
to bear arms.
there's one argument people have for good guns. There's one argument. It's not a great argument. The one argument people have is, I like my guns. Screw you. That's their real argument. Okay. I like guns, so leave me alone.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to infringe upon your right to bear arms, and I think you have that right. I think that the Constitution guarantees that
Well,
right.
when the Constitution made that right, they had muskets. Okay.
Understand? We're not going to defend taking away your arms. All I'm saying to you is, what is the reason for an assault rifle?
Well, if you want to shoot up a whole crowd of people,
Right, let's
okay,
not be flippant. Understand,
that's what
what
it's
is the
for.
valid reason that you need an assault rifle? What is it?
What is the valid reason why a 14-year-old can get their hands on it? That they can get their hands on it. How can that be? Um, Australia had a mass shooting in the 70s. They said, that's it, no more assault weapons in our country. And the people in the country said, at first, no. And then they took them away, and they haven't had a mass shooting in 30 years. Okay, 20, 30 years, they haven't had a mass shooting. Mass shooting is defined as more than four or more people being killed at the same time. That's what the definition of it is. Just made sense. Americans, we don't want to make sense. I will argue this. I will make speeches about this too. I have done it before. I've given a talk about they called it an anti-gun violence rally, and I was a featured speaker there at the anti-gun violence rally. It was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I did a speech about John Swoblin II, and my speech was called "Bullets Don't Care." Okay.
I welcome this conversation from someone who is an avid gun user, gun
Or
carrier,
who owns
and who
that stuff?
has not an assault rifle, but to hear from the perspective of someone who owns a gun and appreciates the right to bear arms. Where do you stand on rifles? Where do you stand on the having an assault rifle in your home? And even if it's in a locked cabinet, I don't know where the gun was that boy got the gun from.
Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't really matter because it was available for him to get it.
He could, if he could,
He
and he
could,
did.
and he did.
And the crazy thing, the more you learn about this, they questioned him last year because he was threatening about shooting up the school last year. So authorities knew about it last year, and they questioned him about it, and they thought they talked him off the ledge, but it was in his head a year ago, and they knew about it.
So I'm not trying to use this one instance,
Well, you got 100 of them to pick
but
from this
that's what I
year.
was gonna say. I'm not just trying to use this one instance, and I am not voting for any office right now, and I'm not telling you who to vote for. But all I'm bringing up is there doesn't seem to be a reason why people who live in neighborhoods and are not militia need an assault rifle.
Judy Floyd says, after Sandy Hook violence, I truly thought that the laws would change. However, it's always about big companies and money. Sandy Hook, Newtown, Columbine, Florida, all kinds of Florida. So many of them, you would think. Even, oh my God, the last school shooting, Trump said, uh, it's tragic. Our hearts goes out to those families, but we got to move past it now. I'm like, immediately he said that. Immediately. Oh my God. Um, Not only that, the kid Dylan Roof killed 9 worshipers in a church in South Carolina, and the police apprehend him, put a bulletproof vest on him, take him to Burger King before they bring him in. Come on, man. There's just so much stuff.
Miss Phyllis said, "Did you hear about the vending machine that sells ammo?"
I didn't hear about the vending machine that
No,
sells
I have
ammo,
not.
but I can believe it. And we live in a crazy country. Things called common sense gun laws. And Judy Floyd, you would think, I thought so too after Sandy Hook. Those are 26 elementary school kids,
Innocence.
innocent kids. Oh, excuse me, 24 kids and 2 teachers. Okay, 24 little kids, 8, 9 years old. Okay, somebody that's a teenager that don't go to that school goes up to that school and shoots it up. Okay, so with an assault rifle. I thought the laws would change that too, but apparently, Judy, there's no tragedy going to be enough to change it. It's going to take some leadership who just decide, but I don't think it can happen on rebound from a tragedy. It's got to be freaking common sense, and someone's going to have to fight for it and maybe even bleed for it.
The word of God says, "Oh, if my people who are called by my name would only turn from their wicked ways, humble themselves and pray, and then will I heal their land." And then I just lost the rest of the scripture.
And then they will hear from. Then I will hear from them, and I will heal their land. That's
Then I
enough.
will hear from them, and then I will heal their land. Amen. Brother Mark says,
An assault rifle is a weapon of war. The excuses offered are asinine. Unfortunately, it is becoming even more obvious that sense is not common.
"Sense is not
Mark, I mean, look up. You can look up for any year. Look up how many mass shootings has happened this year. This year. It's every week.
coming." With the
Every
handgun.
week.
With the handgun. You can't. You can't do a mass shooting with the handgun.
Well,
So if you want to keep your handguns, keep them.
handguns, they do have handguns that can fire 9 and 12 and 15 rounds.
Rounds, but they can't.
They can't shoot 100, no.
Right.
Okay.
47, I think. 47 what?
Mass shootings this
Yeah,
year.
that's crazy.
I suspect the number's higher than 47, Judy. And we're in the middle of the year. Okay. How many mass shootings have happened in the United States this year? I suspect, Google that, it's going to be over 100. Okay. I'm going to do it now. Go ahead, baby.
I'm really trying to appeal to those who are listening that think that everybody who says that they are for gun laws and for guns just doesn't want anybody to have a gun. I don't mind you having your gun. I am simply saying assault rifles belong to the militia. I don't understand why we need assault rifles in everyday
Not the militia.
use.
Militia is not military. Militia.
Well, in the military, that's where they belong.
Okay. In 2024, so far, there have been 385 recorded mass shootings in the U.S. this year.
Jesus.
385 of them so far this year. That's more than one a day. Mass shootings. So they don't care. I like my guns. Screw you. That's the argument for having them.
Cindy Lee says, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Authors Tribe podcast.
385, not 49, not 47.
Not 47.
385.
That's more than one a day. That's more than one a day in
I
a
just did a
year.
Google search for it.
And you can Google it.
How many mass shootings in the U.S. in 2024? You can Google it yourself.
The power of your mind. You know, there used to be a commercial when we were kids. The mind is a terrible thing to waste.
And then the funny comedians would say,
The mind is a terrible thing.
exactly.
The mind is a terrible thing to waste.
And then the mind is a terrible thing. And it can be. Your mind can be. What was on that person's mind?
Well, we dare say that he was troubled. We dare say that he has
You think.
some issues.
Yeah.
But understand that goes without saying for almost everybody that has
Right.
ever done
Anyone.
anything.
There's some trouble. There's some insanity. It doesn't make sense to decide I'm going to load up an assault weapon and go to a school and shoot up whatever I can. It's hurtful. It hurts me to my soul. This thing here. 2 teachers went to work that day. 11 other people. 2 were killed. 2 more kids were killed and were shot that day.
Yeah.
They went to school. They went to work. And this person went to go kill him. And I don't want to hear, I'm sick of it, thoughts and prayers from politicians. I want freaking action.
Yeah. And we do have to extend our thoughts and prayers. But the politicians and those in position need to show some action.
Common sense. If it should not be easy. It's much more difficult to get a driver's license than it is to get an assault weapon. Okay? Y'all seen those videos on YouTube where people just say, how fast can I buy one? A lady she records herself. I've seen this YouTube video. She gets out of her car, goes into a gun shop, gets an assault weapon, gets back to her car, 15 minutes. Done. She got one now, bullets and everything. 15 minutes. You can order them online. And then there's a thing called...
You can buy the gun and the bullets in the same store at the same time?
Oh, I don't know about that. Like, for example, Walmart and Kmart and stuff like that, you used to walk in and be able to walk out with a rifle. Now you can walk in and pay for it there, but they have to send it to you. Okay, you can't walk around the store with it.
I don't know.
Okay, but anyway,
I'm just asking.
15 minutes for some people. Okay, you can get it in and out and get it one. There's a thing called the gun show loophole, where if you buy it at a gun show, you can get anything you want. You know, background checks and none of that stuff.
So morning, Craig Saab. He says, good morning, everyone. Have a great day on purpose and enjoy it to the fullest. Thank you. Dr. Beverly, good morning. She says, grand rising to my favorite, awesome, beautiful family. I made it. I've been changing batteries since 7:30 a.m. Woohoo! Change those batteries. It's 9:45.
Well, we haven't done greeting songs yet. We're going to do that now. I got to shift my mindset because thinking about that, and Mark Greer is right. How could you not? How could you be a grown-up person and not be thinking about yet another mass shooting? I just looked it up. 385 so far. And because it's foolish to think there's not going to be any more. There's going to be another one. There'll be another mass shooting next week. And really, according to the stats, there'll probably be another one tomorrow.
Dr. Beverly says, yes, you can get a gun and bullets in the same place at the same time, in the same transaction. That's crazy.
Brother Andre Davis, good morning. You caught us. Now, we leave here soon, so let's shift. Because this broadcast is called Let's Talk About It.
Let's talk about it. And sometimes we got to talk about some difficult things. Dr. Beverly says, 14 years old, who is accountable? Yeah, exactly. Who is accountable?
Exactly.
At 14 years old, well, I'm going to say something disparaging right now. So at 14 years old, if he's black, he's a thug. At 14 years old, if he's white, he's somebody's youth.
And troubled.
Mm-hmm. I am grateful that no harm has come to him. I'm grateful. I wish that same consideration was given to 14-year-olds, regardless of their color.
As soon as we heard that he was 14 years old
and still alive
and in custody, well, we knew he wasn't a black kid.
He was white.
Because he was a black kid, 14. He's dead now. Okay, he's dead. Okay.
And that's unfortunate.
The police don't bring those kids in. No.
That's unfortunate. And that has not always been my perception. This perception has been earned through the years of experience.
How could it not be? I'm going to try again to shift my mindset. We might not be able to do the greeting songs today, baby. I don't even know. We talk.
What's up, Brainy?
Brainy, okay. Good morning, my brother. How you doing, Andre Davis?
Miss Phyllis said, and they didn't show his pic. They didn't show a current pic.
I found the pics. I found pics on him. But I had to look because when you first Google search the 14-year-old kid that did the shooting, they show you the victims all over Google. They show you the victims. But then you just have to keep digging. And then I was able to find. And the picture that you find, Judy, is of him when he's like 8 or 9. Cute. Okay. But then I found one place where they showed him that same cute picture and what he looks like now. He still looks like a little nerdy white boy.
Dr. Beverly
his name is Colt Gray. Colt Gray is his name.
Dr. Beverly says, Lisa, what's disparaging about the truth? Even though it may be hard to swallow, but it's facts and truth. You're right.
Like Lisa said, her life walk, you've seen it over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts me. Yeah, Andre, I knew what you meant. You know, we came here today not to talk about this. We're going to talk about the power of the mind. But how could you not lift this up today? How could you not heart go out to the folks in there?
So you can use the power of your mind, and you can exercise even more than your mind. Exercise your right to vote. Exercise your right to vote, bearing in mind that you want to put a person in position that shares your beliefs.
Judy Floyd sent me a picture of Colt Gray today. Thank you, Judy. I got it. Relax, relate, release. there'll be time for that, Craig, but there's also need to be a moment of clarity too. A moment of being a grown-up, a moment of thinking like an adult. It makes no freaking sense that this kid can get his hands on, to be able to hold it even. How is that even possible in a civilized nation? Okay, but he not only can use it, he can load it up. And he could take it to a school.
I don't even know how to load an AR-15.
Well, it's easier and easier. Or any of the assault weapons. They have these things called magazines.
You just put the clip in?
Just slap it in there.
And then it doesn't have a safety on it or anything?
They do. They have a safety on it.
Is that hard?
Nope. Thumb click.
And anyway. And then just spray it.
You could. You could put it on automatic and just pull the trigger down and hold it and then just keep firing. That's how you could shoot up 100 people. Okay? You don't got to keep pulling the trigger. Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Beverly goes on to say the power of the mind will also conflict with the heart. Then you will have to consider the consequences. Oh, but who does that? Yeah, that's true. Miss Phyllis says, aren't they going to charge him as an adult? Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know if they're going to charge him as an adult or not. The truth of the matter is,
should the parents be liable?
I was about to say, truth of the matter is, even if they charge him as an adult, there should be a trace back to those that are in concert with his activities. There's more than just him. There's the parents or whomever bought the weapon, whoever kept the weapon, or whoever was supposed to be responsible for him. There's a lot of things that are in responsibility than just the person who pulled the trigger.
That's right. How can you get it? Access. I think there should be some liability, and I've always felt that way. Kevin Hart did a really funny skit in one of his last comedy specials where he got robbed at his house. So in response to that, he bought a bunch of guns and hid them all over the house. Okay, underneath the coffee table, in the laundry room, in the oven, all of these places. He has guns all over the house. Now, he was going for funny, and it was a funny bit. But looking at it soberly, like, oh my gosh, you have 9 guns all around your house just in case you get robbed.
And you have 4 children.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So I understand you want guns for protection. I think I can understand that. But even having guns for protection when there are people in the house, it still concerns me.
It drives me nuts. If you have a gun, to me, just to get a gun, it should be more difficult than to get a driver's license. Yeah. To get a driver's license, you got to take a written test and a test drive. And you got to pass both. To get a gun, I think you should have to take a written test. I think you should have to take a class on responsible gun ownership, a psychological evaluation, and a test that makes sure that you know how to use it the right way. All of those things I think should happen. And I think there should be a waiting period after that.
A
cooling off period. But you got to get a class, pass a test. That's my opinion. Pass a test. None of this, anybody can get a gun. Okay, because some people shouldn't be able to get a gun. If that kid was interviewed last year because he threatened to shoot up
then
school,
his house shouldn't even be able to have a gun.
Exactly.
I think that there should have been some scrutiny over the whole house because of them bringing him in on last year.
If you're right, I love it.
So now even the police should be liable in some way
because you had a chance to do something about it.
Proactive.
Yep.
And preemptive.
Nobody's joking about shooting up a school.
No.
That's not funny.
It's not.
Okay.
Not at all. So we've actually gone the whole show and we didn't do the songs today. We love you that we did not do the songs because we don't love you. We still appreciate you for coming. We hope that there has been something in the conversation that has triggered some action in you. Yes, I believe that we should pray. Yes, I believe that we should fast. Yes, I believe that we should do all those things. I also believe that we should vote and that we should have legislation approved and passed to bring some of these things to bear.
You have to pass and take a test to get into the military. I did, yes. You got to take a test and pass it just to get into the military. Mm-hmm. In the movie Bad Boys, the latest Bad Boys movie, Ride or Die, I think is what it is. With there's a scene where the military trained Marcus? Not Marcus. What's this kid's name?
I never saw any of the Ride or Dies.
If you did, baby, you just watched it together. We love the movie.
Bad Boys, Martin Lawrence.
Oh, Bad Boys, yeah.
Right.
I didn't know
So
what you were talking
we
about.
just saw it. But anyway, the kid who grew up that they gave such a hard time, he's military trained. And there's a scene where the bad guys descend on his house and he has to defend his house. And he does have his weapon secured in a safe.
Yeah.
Reggie, yes. So Reggie was able to go to the safe. He secured mom and them in a closet or a room.
Away.
And then he goes to the safe and runs the combination, gets the gun out, and shoots up the bad guys. And he did it in a military fashion.
And that's the way you should do it.
He was highly trained. That's one of my favorite scenes
Absolutely.
in the movie.
It was great. Craig says, because he's young, the parents by law should be locked up as well. I agree, but 14 is gonna be bordering on trying him as an adult.
I remember when I was in middle school, they told us age 13 is now you can be tried as an adult in New York.
Well, as a black kid, you could probably be tried as an adult at 12
or 9.
Yeah, at 9. Unfortunately.
All right, we gotta go.
We love you. We apologize for the polarizing morning that we've had with you this morning, but I certainly hope that it drives you to action, and we look forward to seeing you on tomorrow for Friday Funnies and Shout It Out Friday. And don't forget to have sex, because